request and welcome today's Sunday feast speaker. His name is Navina Nirada Prabhuji. He joined ISKCON in 1984 in Zurich, Switzerland. It's around 38 years, if I'm calculating right. 38 years back. It's a long journey. Some of us did not even have any understanding of the process, and Prabhuji is serving since then. He was part of ISKCON book distribution ministry, and he's a leading book distributor. He's associated with California, in San Francisco, California temple right now. And I was told that one day he distributed in one day 660 books. Please submerge in distribution. So let's welcome him on our traditional way on Vyasasana. Haribo! Haribo! Haribo!
Om Ajnanatirandasya Gyananjanashakaya Chakshurumritam Jena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha Sri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Gramayam Dadati Swapadantikam Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasari Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Mukam karoti vachalam pangum nangayate girim yadkripadamaham vande Sri Gurunatharanam Paramananda Madhavam Sri Chaitanyeshwaram Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Krita Sindhubhyevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Hare Krishna. So we're all very fortunate to be here. In the Bhagavad Gita, in the 9th chapter, Krishna speaks, Rajavidya Rajaguyam Pavitramidam Uttamam Pratyakshavagamam Dhamyam Susukam Kartumavayam. Krishna is telling Arjuna that this knowledge is the most confidential knowledge, is the king of all education. Why? Because it gives direct perception of the self. Just a while ago, I was walking with Henry. Henry is a senior at Michigan University at Ann Arbor. I met him a week ago, and he got books because he is studying ancient cultures and civilizations. And he was very intrigued to find a Bhagavad Gita that had Sanskrit in it, because he's taking Sanskrit for his last year. So, and he texted me. I took his number. I gave him my number. He texted me and he said he would like to walk and talk and discuss. So we walked at the Arboretum. Have you ever been to the park near the hospital, near the university? Nice park. Good place to go walk. Put it on your list, okay? Places to go, things to do. Walking the Arboretum in Ann Arbor. And I ask everybody, so what's the biggest challenge in life that you got right now? Now you don't have any challenges. I know you're doing perfectly fine. How many of you are feeling santush, self-satisfied? Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Who feels anand? Who feels like blissful, ecstatic? No? Okay, the rest is miserable or oblivious. So ask everybody, what's your biggest challenge right now? And a lot of them say, my phone, my mind, patience, anxiety. Henry's challenge was different. He said, I'm too analytical. I feel like I'm observing the whole world in third party, that I'm not there in the moment. I'm just the observer. And I was almost tempted to say, Henry, that's great, that's really good. Like you're not in the in the passion of it. You're not getting involved in all the modes. You're just the observer. You know, that's really good. But for Henry, that was a real challenge. Why? He did not have pratyaksha. He did not have full realization of what he was going through. He was too analytical, too much of a nerd. You heard the term nerd? You know what the nerd is? Okay, just check. Too much of a nerd, too much in his mind. So, and he analyzed himself that he was not getting the full experience of what he was going through in life. And he felt that was very challenging because he felt that he was not living life to the fullest. Did you ever feel like that? Have you ever felt like you were a little distracted or detached from what was going on? Because there was too much noise in the head, or there was too much pain in the heart, or there was too much turmoil, too much happening. So today, thank you for your honesty. One person feels like that. All the others are exceedingly blissful. You're the only one with a problem. So today I gave him beads and I explained to him the spiritual science of mantra technology. That people would be able to fly, not just airplanes, but objects. They would be able to kill and bring people back to life by mantra. We're not going to try it out right now. But if you want, you have to buy the premium version. That will be after the program. So, and I explained to him how mantra technology works, and he was very intrigued to find out about how to get real experience in life. Because he realized that in his senior year, academic pursuit wasn't the be-all and end-all. That he actually wanted to become a more wholesome, a more happy, a more realized, a more fulfilled person. So we're all going through the world of names in our own little journey. And I thought I would share a couple of things with you, and then we have time for some discussion. I just came from Miami, and I was there on South Beach during spring break. Any of you have been to Miami? Yeah, it's a pretty wild place. And
sorry, someone started sharing in the between of the screen.
okay,
So,
well, you as the moderator should be able to mute, censor, and do whatever things moderators can do. So it was wild. It was spring break. Everybody was out there doing what people do on spring break. No need to get into details. So, and we were there sharing the message of the Bhagavad Gita. And I was outside of a pharmacy, CVS. And one lady, she came out of the store and she was so angry, she was yelling in the phone. Literally yelling. And I know you're cultured people, so you can sympathize with me. Normally, that's not the way how you behave, right? In public or on the phone or in general. But she was so upset that she completely lost it and she was just yelling. So I saw her and I had two choices: to either just avoid her and ignore her or to go up to her. And I thought, let's try, you know, like, seems like she could use a little help. So I just went up to her and I presented to her the Bhagavad Gita, talked about peace of mind, meditation, and about how most of the things in this world are outside of our control. So she stopped yelling and she said, I'm so angry. You don't know how angry I am, but keep talking, it's working. So I kept talking. And at one point, she just hung up the phone and put the phone away. And she was still angry, she was still shaking. And I just explained the basic message of the Bhagavad Gita, that you're not the controller, you know. The world is not moving according to your desire, but there are other factors in action. You know the 5 factors of action? Anybody knows? Come on, you're all masters and PhDs, so this is ABC. What are the 5 factors of action in the Bhagavad Gita?
Body, the soul, the soul, the super soul, the field of action, your endeavor.
Senses.
Huh? Daiva. Yes, Daiva. No sanction, no go. Huh? So, just the basics. And she felt much better when she heard that. So, she took a few books, and at the end I saw she was actually smiling, she was actually happy. Why? Pratyaksha. What happens when you have pratyaksha, when you have real darshan, when you have actual experience of the self and of the supreme self? Susukam kartumaviham. This process is joyfully performed. We're not telling you, you have to feel happy now because you're on camera. Okay, smile. All right, you're on camera, smile. Like when you do kirtan. Of course, the kids and the ladies, they dance naturally. The guys, they dance in their heart, you know. Not really that officially, but they dance in their heart. And today was just warm up, it's just rehearsal. Next week is Rath Yatra, okay? So you're doing okay, but you guys gotta do a little better, okay? You can practice during this week, all right? That's your homework. Every day you do a little kirtan. You can do by yourself, you just start chanting Hare Krishna. And you chant and dance. You can do it in your bedroom, you can do it in the office, you can do it, you know, while you wait in traffic. Just chant and see what it does to you. No charge, no expectations. If you like it, keep doing it. If not, keep yelling at the traffic, keep yelling at the phone, you know, keep pushing buttons and get exceedingly miserable because the world is not corresponding to your plans and ideas. Does this resonate with any of you? Does this make any sense? Or am I just talking to myself to work up an appetite? So Henry really appreciated that I took the time to hear him out and to explain a few things to him on his level that he could actually understand. Because if you would bring a new person in here and you say, Prabhuji, Mataji, is that, you know, for a Western person, this is all Chinese. It's all very, very foreign. And since we're living here in the great country, I'm humbly asking you, please try to connect with, you got the whole world here. You notice that there's a few white people and a few black people and a few yellow people and a few red people and a few, you know, you got everything because it's the great country. So you got a great assortment of everything. So that you walk out the door and you meet people where they're at. Yesterday I was in Plymouth at the art fair. Have you heard of the Plymouth art fair? Second biggest art fair after Ann Arbor. Still on today. 300,000 people. And people go around and, you know, they buy wooden cutting boards for $50 and stuff like that. You know, like all very important things. Basically, they're out there for looking for what? Pratyaksha. Why? Because they want sukha. Huh? They want happiness. They want experience, joy. And because they worked so hard, they think now I've got money, so I can buy whatever it is that needs buying that will give me that happiness, that will give me that experience. But unfortunately, it's not happening. So I usually go up to the vendors because the patrons, the people moving around, they're usually too absorbed in just trying to connect with the objects of the senses. But the artists, the vendors, the ones who are there waiting, and they can't go anywhere because it's their booth, you know. It's one advantage if you go door to door or shop to shop. So I always tell them that you're an artist, so you're trying to channel that information, that inspiration, and communicate the message through your art to the people. You want to have impact. Am I right or am I right? Thank you. You're a good audience. And this will help you. So that's why we're bringing these books, and these are for you. And you can contribute whatever you like. I had one gentleman, I met him last year, and I remember very clearly, just middle-aged, Midwestern American couple. And I asked him what he was interested in. He said, unconditional love. It's the only thing that's worthwhile living. And I said, I fully agree with you. And I explained the concept of bhakti. And he was totally into it. And he took some books and he gave me a big hug. And this year I met him again. And he had read the books. And he took more books. You see? So it's good that you give people books, but you have to do more than that. You have to do more than that. Right now, there's a war going on. I don't know if I know you don't watch the news and you're not really paying attention to social media, but some parts of the world are on fire. I just talked to my friend in Australia. The place was flooded so bad, they couldn't grow anything on the farms. One box of broccoli is $150. One cabbage, $15. Imagine, you go to the marketplace and you want a cabbage, and the guy says 1,000 rupees. And you go like, what? Is there pearls inside, or why would you want 1,000 rupees for cabbage? Because there is no food. Because everything is flooded. Now you may say, hey, you know, we got everything here. But if you can't grow it, then Amazon won't ship it. So different people, different places, different problems, but everyone is going through their problems. So the point, what was the point I was trying to make? Let's backtrack. Pay attention.
Can do something more than
Huh?
can do something more than just books.
Yes, you can do something more than just giving people books. So I was in the Ukraine. I took a night train from Kiev to Donetsk, which is war zone. And as I was boarding the night train, I know many of you are from India, you took night trains, you know the scenario. You get into the night train, you try to find your compartment, right? You got your luggage, there's a lot of people. Does this make sense? Have you had that experience? Yeah? Okay. And there was two fellows who came on the train, and they had they shaved heads, thick necks, and big tattoos on their necks, which in some countries means not the good guys. So one of them walked right up to me, and he said, Krishna, which means, are you a Hare Krishna? And I was like, well, yeah, I'm a Hare Krishna. And he said, thank you for giving this knowledge to me. Krishna saved me one more time. Could have gone wrong, right? Never know. So he had the books, he had read the books, he was intrigued. And he said that, but I can't figure out this chanting. Everywhere it says chanting, chanting, what is chanting? What is that? So we had a little Jabba Seminar there on the train. I showed him, I gave him some beads and showed him how to chant. And he really liked that. He took beads, he took some more books. And then he was in the compartment right next to ours. So this is like the equivalency of second class AC, what do you call it? Something like that, you know, like you can close doors and stuff. So I thought I have to give them prasadam because books is great, but you know, he needs more than that. Like this guy's a little thick. His coconut is a little thick, you know, he needs a little more help. Because otherwise it doesn't enter, you know. I mean, you can take the machete, but so prasadam, but I don't have any prasadam. It's like I came here, there was a homeless person at the stoplight, and he was there begging, and I had nothing to give to him. Does this ever happen to you? How does it make you feel? Stupid, right? We throw away 40% of our food in this country. And we don't have anything to give to a person who's asking for food. It's stupid. So always keep some prasadam in your car. That when you have somebody, you can give them some prasadam. Okay? So then I remember the devotees from Kiev, they gave me a whole bag of Mahaprasad. They gave me cakes and sweet balls. And I mean, today's Ekadasi, but you know, a lot of good stuff. Okay? And they thought maybe I would stay up all night and eat on the night train, you know, but when somebody gives you prasad, never refuse it. It may not be for you. You may just be the carrier, the person, you know, Garuda, the one who just brings it to somebody else. So never refuse prasad. You can always bring it to somebody else. So I gave them, I knocked, and in the morning, I gave them the prasad. And they were very happy. And they just woke up and, you know, started sharing the prasad. Then we arrived in Donetsk, and it was early morning, and it was raining. And it was about 3 degrees Celsius, which is about 35, 36 Fahrenheit, and raining, and nobody was there to pick me up. So, okay, typical scenario. What to do? No one to call, nothing to do, just wait. So after about 10 minutes, devotees came running, and they brought a big garland. You know those big garlands like they offer to Radha Madhava sometimes? Yeah. Big garland. And just as they gave me the garland, the family came out of the train, and the grandmother had the little baby boy who was like 3 years old on her shoulder. So I gave the garland to the boy. And he was very happy. He had the big garland. The whole family was happy. That evening, the man came to the temple, and he took part in Gaurarti, Gita class, Sankirtan seminar. And afterwards, he came up to me after about 2 hours of program, and he said, you know, now my family is convinced that Krishna consciousness is good. So it's good that we give people books, but it's not enough. It's good that we give them prasadam, but it's not enough. Unless and until we're ready to spend quality time with them, to answer their questions, to sort out their doubts, their misconceptions, to help them progress on their journey. Unless and until we're ready to do that, it will take a very long time for them to actually get absorbed in the practice. So why am I sharing this? Because I would like you to spend some time out of the week, out of the month, out of the day, to care for others. Because seva will save you, okay? We're all here because we got seva. Seva is your chip in the game. Just like if you don't have the job, they take away your badge, right? You can't get in the building. Tough luck. Huh? You're out. But if you have seva, you're in. So if you ask, what does it take to be a member of ISKCON? It's seva. You can do chapel seva, you can arrange the shoes, you can do cleaning seva, you can do cooking seva, you can do preaching seva, you can do fundraising, managing, you can do whatever seva you like, but you gotta have seva. That's your ticket. That's your entry key. If you don't have seva, you'll come here and you'll say, looks like an old restaurant. Yeah, it was an old restaurant. Why did they put that funny thing on the roof, you know? Why is everybody wearing these weird dresses? You know, sometimes people come in, they walk through, and they walk out, and they never come back. Have you noticed? It happens. Why? No seva. They don't have the entry code. They don't know what's going on. They can't tune into the frequency. Huh? Just like if you go to a friend's house. You ever go to a friend's house? You guys have friends? Just checking. We get a lot of aliens, you know, like because now humanity is restarting, you know, so there's all kinds of things going on. So what's the first thing you ask when you go to a friend's house? Our young gentleman here is feeling a little tired. What do you ask when you go to a friend's house? First question. Question. Okay, that's nice. What's the second question? What's the Wi-Fi password? And then people look at you like, hey, that's confidential information. I'm not sure I'm ready to tell you that. You know, it's a little fast, okay? So you may be able to read Sanskrit. You may be able to recite Rig Veda. Sahasra Shirsha Purushaha, Sahasrakshat, Sahasrapahat, and so on. But you don't know what it means. Because you can't enter into it unless you have the access code. It says, I got a signal, but then it asks, what's the password? The password is seva. That means you have to have a humble attitude. And that means we need Sangha. We need a peer group which will help us to refine ourselves so that this very potent, powerful seed will actually fructify and something beautiful will manifest. Now you have all worked very hard to be here, to stay here, to accomplish what you have done. When you think you're done, you're done. If you think that's everything, having a house in the suburb and 2 cars, and putting a couple of kids through college, then that's it, then you're done. But if you think, I can do better than that, I got more potential. There is more opportunity in the world. Because there's a few other people who have done that already. Like, look at my neighborhood, everyone's doing the same thing. Huh? The human form of life is meant for self-realization. Atato Brahma Jigyasa. That's the reason why we get up early, why we chant mantras, why we do seva. Because we want to have susukam hartumavya. We want to have joyful experience of what? Of the self and of the supreme self. Why am I here? I'm here because of my friend Hugo who sits there in the back. Because life is about relationships. Sambandha? Remember friends? Huh? You do things to make your friends happy, right? Because your friends are important to you. Huh? So, in a similar way, to develop our relationship with Krishna, we should ask ourselves, what will please Krishna? What will make Krishna happy? What can I do to make Krishna happy? Why is Srimati Radharani always close to Krishna? Because she knows Krishna's heart. She knows what makes Krishna happy. So when they were in Kurukshetra at the eclipse, the gopis were not happy because Krishna was a prince. He was surrounded by armies. There was elephants and horses. It was not Vrindavan. It was not sweet. It was not intimate. It was very official. So even though it was the same Krishna, but a different flavor, a different mood. So they wanted to bring Krishna back to Vrindavan. So they went up to Krishna's chariot and they started pulling the ropes. Okay, we'll bring him back to Vrindavan. This is not the right place. This is not good. We want to go back because we had an experience that cannot be exceeded in height. That ecstasy cannot be paralleled. So this official reception here is not doing it for us. We're out of here and we're taking Krishna. We're going back to Vrindavan. That's Rath Yatra. That's what's happening. So you're all invited. Bring all your 5,000 friends. Okay? We're going to have that experience. It's available. And it's available every day of the week when we call out to Krishna by chanting his name. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram. And by the sincerity, by the heartfelt need, will attract Krishna's attention. And then going out into the world and building a few empires or losing a few fortunes is not such a big deal. It happens on the side. But this is the real deal. What is your gravitas? What is your point of focus? If you want to have impact, you have to allow Krishna, who is Om Purnam, Adak Purnam, who is the source of everything, who is the most heavy. You have to allow Krishna to have impact on your life. Then you can impact others. I know it's hard to stand out and to have impact when you're in a peer group of people who are all very accomplished and they're all doing great things. So you have all achieved in life, otherwise you wouldn't be here. But now the question comes, is this everything or is there something more? That's the question. Everybody has to answer that question for themselves. But the Vedas tell us, Atato Brahma Jigyasa, now is time to inquire about the true nature of the self, the supreme self. And what is our relationship? As I said, I'm here because of my friend Yugo. Now it's not Govardhan. We wish we were in Govardhan doing parikram and studying Bhagavatam. It's not New York where we're on the battlefield and we have to somehow struggle to make it work. We're in nice Farmington Hills, Michigan, and everything is nice. We're in the suburbs where everybody's cutting their lawn every second day. Does it never drive you crazy? It drives me mad when I see these people who are wasting their lives away, just sitting on a lawnmower and just making noise. Isn't it insane? Is that what we live for? Having a big lawnmower? So, we got time for questions, reflections, comments, challenges, whatever you feel like. Because as I said, I was just here to see Yugo Kishore, and I already did that. So I already got my part, okay? I'm good. Now, what about you? Why are you here? That's what I want.
We have a microphone, so you can raise your hands so we can pass the microphone.
Because one little secret, if you don't have a reason to be here, you're not going to be here for long. Because you ever noticed how all of a sudden something started ringing or blinking? And then people, adult people, they jump up and run out. Have you ever noticed that? It's amazing, right? How can these little things have so much power over our lives? So if my reason to be in satsang is not clear, is not strong, there's a million other reasons why not to be. Now you may be working, you may be having success, tremendous accomplishment, but remember this, Amazon moves product, Bhakti moves hearts. If you move the heart of a person, you get everything else along with it, including the lawnmower. That's included in the package. But if you don't get the heart and you only get the lawnmower, big deal. So everyone got 3 of those. That's why they need a double garage, a shed, and 2 storage units. You ever notice why there's so many storage units in this country? Not because there's, scarcity. You've seen the big landfills, with the plastic grass on them. You've seen that, right? So the Bhagavad Gita is teaching us that there's a different way of life. There's a different culture. There's a different way how to use energy, a different way how to communicate, a different way how to create community. And that's what we're here to learn. Because right now, things are not going too great in the world. Last time you checked the news, the world was on fire. Now we may say, hey, things are just getting back to normal, right? We're just getting back into it, right? It's happening. There ain't no normal. It's not gonna happen. We're not gonna get back to 20 cents a gallon gas. I'm sorry to break the bad news to you, but it's not gonna happen. Just talked to a friend, he said when he got his first car, he had a Mustang. You've seen a Mustang, V8? Brand new, $2,000. gas was 20 cents a gallon. And he thought he was flying high. Huh? So, what are we here for? What's our motive? That's something that we should revisit. And by our purpose, by our intent, we'll attract either Krishna or Maya. That's what it is. So,
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, and thank you very much for the wonderful class. I want to ask about, as you have been kind of experienced distributing books, which means you connect to the very new people who are not kind of very much aware of the Krishna consciousness, overall philosophy. So, what should be the first step? Because if we just start explaining them about the Krishna consciousness, or detailed philosophy.
no, like our friend here said, first you say hi. You know, first you say hi. Because if a person doesn't say hi, then you're like, you just get ignored. First you have to greet people, okay? And if they still don't pay attention, then you can say, I am from Switzerland and I'm meeting all the nice people today. And if they still don't respond, you can ask them, do you qualify? That should get their attention. It's like if you go fishing. Have you ever gone fishing? No, of course not. You're all very sucky. But if you go fishing, you use hooks, okay? So if you need to catch people's attentions, you use hooks. It's like in marketing. You have to use hooks. They can be visual, they can be verbal, they can be physical. It's all different types of hooks. So you have to get people's attention.
Yeah, Prabhuji, if suppose people in India, at least people are aware of, at least they know.
Yeah, but this is not India, this is Michigan.
Yeah, in Michigan or in the West, people are not.
All kinds of creatures here. If you take off your shoes and you do namaskar, you know, it means nothing. You can wear saffron, you can wear pink, you can, in San Francisco, you can walk naked, it means nothing. There's no point of reference. You can be a triple PhD in robotronics, it means nothing. The only thing people want to know here is, what you got for me? What you got? What's the bottom line? Did you bring something for me that's going to make my life better? Or are you going to waste my time, take my money, and make me feel miserable?
Yeah.
So then,
when we meeting new people, we may not even able to get it what they want. So,
well, everybody's looking for experience. So you got to give them experience, which means you have to get out of nerd mode. You know, nerd mode, analytical mode, deep thinking mode. It's a great mode for, you know, if you build computer chips and stuff, but it's not a great mode to communicate with humans. Because humans expect a response. Like in your family, right? You can't be in nerd mode. You have to actually be in human mode, right? You have to reciprocate. And, you know, and that means, yeah, you know, you have to be a mensch. Sukhi nara. Be a sukhi nara. Be a happy human. I was in Berkeley at the great University of California. And I went up to students, and one young gentleman, he said, "You already asked me yesterday." I said, "Hey, sorry, dude, I can't tell. You know, you're wearing a mask. You guys look all the same, you know, so what do I know? You know?" So he pulled his mask down, he had a beard. He said, "I'm a Muslim." "But you're glowing, you're effulgent." And he said, "I want what you have." Now, no American would ever say that. But he had the guts to say it. "I want what you have." I said, "Here it is. Take it." He said, "How much?" I said, "Whatever. From your heart, what you have." So people will take one look at you and they will decide, yes, I would like to become like you, or no, I would like to be as far away as possible. And that's why we get up early. That's why we chant mantras. That's why we do seva. So that people, when they meet you, they only have one question in their mind. You know what that question is? Not when is it over, not get off my planet, but how can I become like you? That's the only question on it. That's why we invest the majority of our effort into practice. 80-20. 80% you practice, 20% you share. And when you go out, you open your mouth, all that chanting, all that reading, all that serving will make your words so sweet that people will be mesmerized. They just want what you got. And the way how you communicate it, you try to see who's my audience, who am I talking to? And you try to speak in a way that's relatable to them. Not your nerd lingo or your cultural lingo or your ego, but what can this person appreciate? When Srila Prabhupada was in England, they were staying at the home of John Lennon, and John Lennon's gardener, he was really into sports cars. Prabhupada talked to him about British sports cars. The gardener remembered Prabhupada many decades after. Why? Because Prabhupada spoke his language. He was interested in what he was interested in. So if you want to have a relationship, sambandha, you have to figure out where the other person is and meet them and establish some relationship. So you speak in a way and you speak about things that are relatable for that person. It's not so difficult, right? So it's just basically common sense. If it's still too abstract and too hard, just observe the kids. Just, be more like children. See what the kids are doing, how they communicate, how they interact, how they turn everything into play. Huh? You ever seen two guys out in the middle of the road just playing with dirt? And you go like, what the heck, How can you be that happy? Like, he doesn't have nothing. There's dirt and rocks, but they're playing, living the life. Pratyaksha, susukha, it's there. People see you chanting and dancing, and they wonder, how can you be so happy? How is that possible? So don't let your intellect get in the way, okay? So just when you walk out that door to meet people, just leave your baggage behind. Leave that in the office. Like, I know it was tough because many had to do home office. So the office was in your home. You notice it's tough, right? Because you don't have a real home life anymore. Your home turned into your office. And that's home all the time, so let's do fun stuff. And then you're like, no, I need to work, And the kids are supposed to do school and everything it's called rasa basa, mellows that don't mix, things that don't go together. So be clear on who you are and what you want to communicate. And if it's still too abstract, just go with others who are more experienced and you just watch what they're doing and you can emulate that. It's not so hard. I walked up to every single booth in the art fair in Plymouth yesterday. Not all, but a good number of them. And what's the question? If you want to make a connection with people who have a booth, did you make all this? You can go to a farmer's market. The people say, take whatever you want, Like you're the first person to appreciate that I actually grew this stuff. You know how much work it is to be a farmer? Anyone here ever grown something? Besides fungus in the bathroom? I mean, like, grow crops. It's work. I didn't grow up on farms, but I worked on farms in the summer in Switzerland. It's work, hard work. You want to be a team leader, you want to be a manager, you want to be an owner, learn this art. You appreciate the people in your team. Everybody wants to be in your team if you learn the art of appreciation. It's very simple. Very simple. If you show interest in people, they will show interest in you. If you don't care about me, why should I care about you? Why should I read your book? You're just another self-absorbed, totally dyslexic person. I got plenty of those. That means you got to be able to connect. Where do you learn how to connect? Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram. That's why we change up. Not just as a vocal exercise. It's a mantra. Without relationship, there is no process. There is no goal.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you for sharing all of your experiences with us today. I just have one question. You gave some examples of doing seva, and it may be a dumb question, like what are the different ways of doing seva? I understand that in some of it, but just want to understand more.
Well, the varieties are on mindset. Sometimes we do things because we're forced circumstantially to do them. Like you're in a family or you're in a company, and it kind of looks odd, if you're not doing your part. So you just do it kind of mechanically, kind of officially, but you're not really feeling it, so to speak, because you'd rather not be there doing that. And people can sense it, Then you may have another agenda, you may have another motive, like you're supposed to do it for a certain idea, but you actually have a different plan. You have a different expectation. And so you're always a little frustrated, always a little dissatisfied. Has this ever happened to you? Or is it just me? One person it has happened to them. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Thank you. So that's why it's important that we revisit our motivation. What is my intention? Why am I doing this? And of course, bhakti, unconditional love, anyabhilashita shunyam, I'm doing it just to give pleasure to Krishna. Now, initially I might be of a different variety. Some people are suffering, some people are looking for wealth, some people are curious. Very few people want knowledge. Those who do it just for the love of it. I had one lady yesterday. She was from Pennsylvania, and they had furniture. And I asked her, "Are you Swiss?" She said, "How do you know?" I said, "Are you Amish?" She said, "How do you know?" I said, "I'm from there." I know. I gave her the book. I said, "Give whatever you like." She went to her closet. She got me $100. Why? Because I recognized her motivation, why she was doing what she was doing. She said, "I'm blessed. God has given me everything. I'm very grateful. Thanks for talking to me and appreciating." People want to be appreciated. But if we're not even able to appreciate ourselves and what we're doing right now, it will be very hard to appreciate others. It will just be like some formality, Oh yeah, hello, welcome. I'm very happy to meet you. Yeah. Life really sucks, and I hate being here. I hate the world and I hate myself. But by the way, it's really nice. Pleasure doing business with you. Great experience, right? Customer rating, 7 stars. Looking forward to come back to this place. The only thing in question in people's minds should be, hey, Henry, you know what he said? He said, "How can we stay in touch? Like I want to know what's going on in your head. I want to know why you're doing what you do. Now, he's an educated guy, you know, he's got a trust fund, you know, they'll put him through PhD, even if he studies dead languages and ancient empires, you know, they don't care. But Henry is intrigued, he's excited to find out about how this mantra technology works. So figure out what motivates you, what drives you. And if you see that it's not working too great, maybe there's some ways how to upgrade. You know, like, do you ever upgrade your apps? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Some do it every day, you know, because they're nothing better to do. It's just, hey, you know, I'm gonna do something. Let's see. There's some new stuff out there, right? Upgrade your mindset. Upgrade your mentality. And you realize, hey, it's a new world. It's a total new experience out there. I didn't know that there was more going on than what I thought. So different people have different sense of perception. And that's why we're very grateful that Srila Prabhupada has given us these books with his precious purpose. And he's given us the access into the Vedic wisdom. Because otherwise, it would be very abstract. So try to revisit your motivation. And again, be in association of others who are enthusiastic, who are dedicated. That rubs off. And that gets us to evolve. I was very fortunate. When I came, it was mentioned in '84. I was 15-year-old. I was in 9th grade. How old are you? 12? 18. 8. You're a big boy. And you play the drum. I didn't play the drum when I was 8. I played other things. So I had a lot of older brothers and older sisters. And they were not shy. They were not holding back. So I got a lot of love, tough love and, and others. So plus I have an older brother and an older sister and a younger brother. But so find your peer group and people who inspire you. As soon as you think that you are at the top and you're the benchmark and you're the be all and end all, from then on, it's a downhill race. Other questions? In front here.
Prabhuji, you mentioned that, this might seem like a weird question, but you mentioned that you should have, the mindset should be helping at please Krishna. So how can we develop that mindset of always doing everything to please Krishna, or at least?
Well, initially you do it for whatever reason you're doing it, you know, because you got to work with what you got. So wherever you're at, that's where you are. That's where you start out. But you got to have a goal. You got to have a point of reference, somewhere you want to orient yourself towards. Okay. So right now, we're here for different reasons. We're here for different reasons. And that's perfectly normal. It's perfectly natural. Yet, unless we have a point of reference, a goal that we're trying to achieve. So make sure you emulate the right kind of role models. Because in this great country, people think that greatness is defined by how popular you are, how many people you have on your social media, or how much money you got, or you know, how many toys are in your crib, whatever, you fill in the blanks. But if you really want to attract Krishna's attention, Krishna is only captivated by selfless love. And that's why we are studying the lives of the great devotees, and we are trying to assist each other in our devotional service. That's the whole mood of Rath Yatra, that everybody is assisting to make Krishna happy, to give Krishna more pleasure. Because the gopis know Krishna may look very gorgeous here, but actually this is substandard. This is not really the ideal place. The ideal place is back home in the forest with all the flowers and the animals, and that's the ideal place. So don't let the externals distract you from the essence. And work with what you have. Right now, we're here for whatever. As I said, I'm here because I want to see my friend. Because I remember we were in Puri with our spiritual master, and he asked us to go to New York because there's an emergency. And I asked a whole bunch of questions. What's going on, and what's happening, and what's the situation on the ground? Because he was asking us to go there and to send people there. You know the saying, anyway. So, and I was asking all these questions, and afterwards Kishore told me, I'm amazed you ask all these questions to Gurudev, because I only have 3 answers for Gurudev. Yes, yes, and yes. I'm a different kind of a guy, you know. One time I was walking with our spiritual master, and he asked me, how was the program? And I said, oh, it was very nice. And he looked at me and he said, I don't have you here to be a yes man. How was the program? But different people have different personas, have different natures. Like some people are very compliant, other people are contrary, some people are challenging, some are too contrary. So you be you, okay? That's the way Krishna made us, that's the way how Krishna likes us. You use your talent, you use your skills, you use your mentality. You can't be me, it's not gonna work. Huh? I can't be you, it's also not gonna work. So Krishna is not asking Arjuna to become a brahmachari or a sannyasi, to go live in the forest or on the mountain. No, he tells him, you go fight your fight. This is who you are, this is what you have to do. That's what we're doing. So it's perfectly all right. You work with what you got, but you emulate the right kind of role models, the ones that resonate with you. You know what I mean? Those who you feel, yes, I would like to become like this person. So choose your role model. When you're youthful, you put up posters or you have ideas or infatuations, but the next month it's another thing. The next month it's another thing. And, it keeps changing like pretty fast. Till you realize that I need to go a little deeper. I need to get past the surface level. Last question. Yes.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. So I've got a question about people I've talked to in the past and everything about ISKCON Hare Krishna. Usually people have a preconceived notion of what it is. And they already made up their mind that it's something that's foreign to them or something, right? So I'm just thinking in the ISKCON Hare Krishna movement, do we have to wear the different robes or sort of look different? Why can't we just follow follow the general, the apparel or whatever people are wearing so we can communicate to them better?
That's perfectly all right. Like, whichever setting you're in, that's, you dress according to the taste of your audience, but you eat according to your own taste, right? Like, when you meet a Guju, I always ask them, are you still eating the mango sauce? You still eating the mango sauce? And they're like, yeah. They're not doing it outside of the home, but in the home. Because they know this is the Ras. This is where the Ras is. So, like with Henry, when I met him at the university, I was pant and shirt. Today I told him, I'm going to the temple. I'm going to go give a talk there. So I'm dressing in a different way, but I'm the same guy, And he could appreciate that. So don't get stuck in externals, because oftentimes we may project our own ideas and our own misconceptions onto others. You know what I mean? So don't get, again, this is a great country. You can be anybody from anywhere wearing anything, literally anything, and it's okay, as long as you're okay with it. So Srila Prabhupada said, just be like a gentleman, be like a lady, be representable, so people can take you seriously. And again, that depends on the setting. People have different norms, they have different expectations. We can adjust, we're not rigid, we're not stereotyped, we're not into the externals. Yet then again, we want to see what is the most productive, what is the most functional, what is the best way how to do it. And that requires a little bit of intelligence. And intelligence comes from good experience. And good experience comes from bad experience. You know the school of hard knocks? But there's news. You don't live long enough to make all the stupid mistakes. So you pay attention and you learn from others. Like sometimes you go to an event and you're just not in the proper attire. It's just not adequate. So, but again, externals, they're important to some people, but I have noticed that people can connect more to your intention, more to your bhava, you know, your mood. It's not even so much what you say, it's much more how you say it. Like, how are you? Okay. That means back off, get off my porch. Oh, I'm a vegetarian. Good for you. Good for you. You know, that passive aggressive type of talk. So you have to get into the intention. Don't be stuck in the externals. Otherwise, you may be another smart talker in a suit, or another posh sadhu, you know, in bright robes, but there's really not much substance there. Just talking blah, you know, like when you have these conferences and you have all these investor and corporate guys who try to talk tech, even though they know nothing about tech. Have you ever wondered? It's really funny, isn't it? Like after 2 sentences, you know, this guy doesn't know what he's talking about. It's just some corporate dude. But they got the wrong guy behind the mic. So you got to know what you're talking about. Otherwise, just do something else, okay? Because life is fast, you know, things go fast. We're only here for a few afternoons. Don't think you got all the time in the world. And even though we are part of eternity, our stay here is finite, so we should use our time wisely. And that's what we're learning to do, to get a direct perception of the self, to be a sukhinara, a happy human, so that anybody that meets you will only have one question: what makes you you? How can I become like you? You please teach me. Now I know that sounds scary, and not many people will tell that or admit that, because in the great country, everybody's great. They don't know why, but somehow they're all great. And it takes a little bit of beating before an iota, a molecule of humility appears in their mind, that they're like, oh, maybe there's a different way of how to do this. But either way, your experience is nonetheless what drives you in your spiritual practice. So I'm very excited to see all of you, besides seeing my friend, and see this community grow. So stick around if you like it, and bring your friends, the ones that you have and the ones that you don't have. And share your experience with them. And you will see that there's a great magic in this bhakti. If you want to enter into the knowledge, seva is your password. That's your key. That's your chip in the game. That's what keeps you. All the others are circumstantial factors. They're all variables. Focus on the essence. Krishna will guide you. Thank you for your kind patience. I'll see you all next week, just down the road. Novi, Ratyatra. Hare Krishna. Prabhuji.
Let us express our gratitude to Navina Nirada Prabhuji by lovely charitators and involved. Two announcements. Next Sunday, we have a theater in Novi Park.
Saturday or Sunday?
Sunday. So there is no Sunday program. So you all can join us there at 12 o'clock. What is that age? 11:30. Yeah, 11:30. So you can come and take part in the theater session. And another announcement is in 5 weeks, we have Janmashtami coming up. The festival for ISKCON Farmington. So this time it's coming on Friday. Janmashtami is on Friday. You all know only once in the year we have midnight Aarti. So Friday midnight 12 o'clock we have midnight Aarti. And we are doing celebrating this time. We are celebrating the festival as usual for 3 days. Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Friday is Janmashtami, Saturday is Srila Prabhupada Appearance Day and Janmashtami. Sunday is also Janmashtami. So we need the help of all of you. You know, he said, seva. You want to connect yourself with Krishna? What is the medium? So we need your help and oh, he's here. You know, if you want to, actually, no, there will be so many booths outside. The parking lot will be filled with booths because we want to give everyone an experience. So if you want to be part of that, you know, it's a very wonderful festival, and you want to give others an experience what they look for again and again. This is the time, this is the opportunity. Please come and be part of it. You know, and there's a.
They can scan it and it's available outside.
Okay, it's available outside, and if you want to be part of the team, and you can scan it and be part of the team. And